Good morning. Thank you for joining me reading Granddaddy's Bible. Today we're going to do 19 and 20 of chapter in Numbers. We're still on schedule. I didn't read yesterday because we had church and we were very busy yesterday, so I'm going to post these all as today, and unfortunately that means I've missed today, but I'm going to post these today, and we are on schedule in the Bible reading plan for this Bible, and we'll start tomorrow with chapter 21. So, chapter 22. Chapter 19, the law of the sacrifice of the red cow and the water of expiation. And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, This is the observance of the victim which the Lord hath ordained. Command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee a red cow of full age, in which there is no blemish, and in which hath not carried the yoke. And you shall deliver her to Eleazar the priest, who shall bring her forth without the camp, and shall immolate her in the sight of all, and dipping his finger in her blood, shall sprinkle it over against the door of the tabernacle 7 times, and shall burn her in the sight of all, delivering up to the fire her skin and her flesh and her blood and her dung. The priest shall also take cedar wood and hyssop, and scarlet twice dyed, and cast it into the flame, with which the cow is consumed. And after washing his garments, the body, he shall enter into the camp. After washing his garments and body, he shall enter into the camp, and shall be unclean until the evening. He also that hath burned and his body, he also that hath burned her, shall wash his garments and his body, and shall be unclean until the evening. And the man that is unclean shall gather up the ashes of the cow, and shall pour them forth without the camp in a most clean place, that they may be reserved for the multitude of the children of Israel, and for a water of aspersion, because the cow was burnt for sin. And when he that carried the ashes of the cow hath washed his garments, he shall be unclean until the evening. The children of Israel, and the strangers that dwell among them, shall observe this for a holy thing by a perpetual ordinance. He that toucheth the corpse of a man, and is therefore unclean 7 days, shall be sprinkled with this water on the 3rd day, and on the 7th, and so shall be cleansed. If he were not sprinkled on the 3rd day, he cannot be cleansed on the 7th. Every one that toucheth the corpse of a man is not sprinkled with this mixture, shall profane the tabernacle of the Lord, and shall perish out of Israel. Because he was not sprinkled with the water of expiation, he shall be unclean, and his uncleanness shall remain upon him. This is the law of a man that dieth in a tent, and that go into his tent, and all the vessels that are there. Shall be unclean 7 days. The vessel that hath no cover nor binding over it shall be unclean. If any man in the field touch the corpse of a man that was slain, or that died of himself, or his bone, or his grave, he shall be unclean 7 days. And they shall take of the ashes of the burning and of the sin offering, and shall pour living waters upon them into a vessel. And the man that is clean shall dip hyssop in them, and shall sprinkle therewith all the tent, and all the furniture, and the men that are defiled with touching any such thing. And in this manner he that is clean shall purify the unclean on the 3rd and on the 7th day. And being expiated the 7th day, he shall wash both himself and his garments, and be unclean until the evening. If any man be not expiated after this rite, his soul shall perish out of the midst of the church, because he hath profaned the sanctuary of the Lord, and was not sprinkled with the water of purification. This precept shall be an ordinance forever. He also that sprinkled the water shall wash his garments. Every one that shall touch the waters of expiation shall be unclean until the evening. Whatsoever a person toucheth who is unclean, he shall make it unclean, and the person that toucheth any of these things shall be unclean until the evening. Chapter 20. The death of Mary, the sister of Moses. The people murmur for want of water. God giveth it them from the rock. The death of Aaron. And the children of Israel and all the multitude came into the desert of Sin in the 1st month, and the people abode in caves. And Mary died there, and was buried in the same place. And the people, wanting water, came together against Moses and Aaron, and making a sedition, they said, Would God we had perished among our brethren before the Lord? Why have you brought out the church of the Lord into the wilderness, that both we and our cattle should die? Why have you made us come up out of Egypt, and have brought us into this wretched place, which cannot be sowed, nor bringeth forth figs, nor vines, nor pomegranates, neither is there any water to drink? And Moses and Aaron, leaving the multitude, went into the tabernacle of the covenant, and fell flat upon the ground, and cried to the Lord, and said, O Lord God, hear the cry of this people, and open to them thy treasure, a fountain of living water, that be satisfied, that they may cease to murmur. That being satisfied, they may cease to murmur. And the glory of the Lord appeared. And the glory of the Lord appeared over them. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Take the rod and assemble the people together, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak to the rock before them, and it shall yield waters. And when thou hast brought forth water out of the rock, all the multitude and their cattle shall drink. Moses therefore took the rod which was before the Lord, as he had commanded him, and having gathered together the multitude before the rock, he said to them, Hear, ye rebellious and incredulous, can we bring you forth water out of this rock? And when Moses had lifted up his hand and struck the rock twice with the rod, there came forth water in a great abundance, so that the people and their cattle drank. And the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, Because you have not believed me to sanctify me before the children of Israel, you shall not bring these people into the land which I will give them. This is the water of contradiction, where the children of Israel strove with the words against the Lord. And he was sanctified in them. In the meantime Moses sent messengers from Kadesh to the king of Edom, to say, Thus saith thy brother Israel, Thou knowest all the labor that hath come upon us, in what manner our fathers went down into Egypt, and there we dwelt a long time, and the Egyptians afflicted us and our fathers. And how we cried to the Lord, and he heard us, and sent an angel, who hath brought us out of Egypt. Lo, we are now in the city of Kadesh, which is the uttermost of thy borders. And we beseech thee that we may have leave to pass through thy country. We will not go through the fields, nor through the vineyards. We will not drink the waters of thy wells, but we will go by the common way, neither turning aside to the right hand nor to the left, till we are past thy borders. And Edom answered them, Thou shalt not pass by me. If thou dost, I will come out armed against thee. And the children of Israel said, We will go by the beaten way, and if we and our cattle drink of thy waters, we will give thee what is just. There shall be no difficulty in the price, only let us pass speedily. But he answered, Thou shalt not pass. And immediately he came forth to meet them, with an infinite multitude and a strong hand. Neither would he condescend to their desire to grant them passage through his borders. Wherefore Israel turned another way from him. And when they had removed the camp from Kadesh, they came to Mount Hor, which is in the borders of the land of Edom, where the Lord spoke to Moses, Let Aaron, saith he, go to his people, for he shall not go into the land which I have given the children of Israel, because he was incredulous to my words, at the waters of contradiction. Take Aaron and his son with him, and bring them up to Mount Hor. And when thou hast stripped the father of his vesture, thou shalt vest therewith Eleazar his son. Aaron shall be gathered to his people, and die there. Moses did as the Lord had commanded, and they went up into the Mount Hor before all the multitude. And when he had stripped Aaron and his vestments, he vested Eleazar his son with them. And Aaron being dead in the top of the mountain, he came down with Eleazar. And all the multitude, seeing that Aaron was dead, mourned for him 30 days throughout all their families. We'll continue reading tomorrow, Numbers chapter 21. Thank you for joining me reading Granddaddy's Bible. Have a blessed week.